Hello. Okay, I think this is going to be the last of the ones I filmed today, but I could be mistaken. And I'm nervous about this one. This is my asexuality equivalent of this year. I mentioned it in my resolutions that I was going to try and film this video, and I'm going to film it. And the reason why I'm nervous about it is exactly the reason I need to make it. Basically, I'm Jewish. And I'm not embarrassed about that. I'm very proud of it, in fact. But the reason I'm nervous about making this video is because anti-Semitism is still very much a thing. But that's also why I need to make this video. And when I made the video about asexuality, I was nervous for completely different reasons. And it was mostly to do with the fact that I don't like talking about my sexuality or anything to do with that. But I wasn't nervous because I was worried about sort of what might be said. In fact, that was kind of the reason I wanted to make it, because I wanted more people to know about it. But with this is something really personal. And yet, there's a fair amount of Jews, but sadly there's also a fair amount of anti-Semitism. And I've always wanted to mention that I'm Jewish on this channel. Like, since I started it, I would have liked to be able to mention it, but I just never did because I was always scared. And it confuses me. I cannot comprehend racism anyway. Like, I've never really understood where that comes from. We are all just people, and every one of us is different. Like, it's not necessarily to do with cultures or anything. But I don't understand anti-Semitism because, well, basically for the same reason that I don't understand any hatred towards religions. Why not just let people believe what they want to believe and celebrate what they want to celebrate, as long as it's not hurting anyone? And I'd like to think we're not hurting anyone. Obviously, every religion has its flaws, but no one's picking at Christianity, I think. Maybe I'm wrong. I love being Jewish. I am unbelievably grateful for the cultures I've grown up with and the things I do and the things I celebrate. And it's definitely not always easy. In fact, it's very hard to be Jewish and an actress, and I have a lot I want to say on that topic, but I'm not going to discuss it in this video. But suffice it to say that almost every show in the West End would not be happy with you taking Friday night and Saturday off, even though Jewish people can't work on Shabbat, which is the Sabbath, which is Friday night to Saturday night. I am really, really happy to talk about my Judaism, and I'm more than happy for you to leave any comments down below, asking questions that I might film in a future video, or just talking about certain things. But I think over a year ago I read Jews Don't Count by David Baddiel, and I do think I spoke about it. And since then I've kind of had this realization of like, no, I need to make a video about it. And I was going to last year, and I don't know why I didn't. I think I just kind of got caught up with everything sort of Greece and Lapland, but now I've got the time, And one thing actually, what's really interesting is we never celebrated Christmas. I always say I don't celebrate Christmas, and I've never given a reason, and this is the reason. So when I went to Lapland, I love Christmas, even though I don't celebrate it. I love the Christmas spirit. I love everything Christmassy. But one thing that was really important to me when I went to Lapland was to remind myself, not to remind myself, I wasn't going to forget, but like just to have something that was like, I don't actually belong here. So I have a Star of David necklace that I don't wear that much, and I don't think I've worn very much before Lapland, but I brought it with me to Lapland and I wore it almost every single day. And most people couldn't see it because usually it was tucked under what I was wearing, or, scarves and things. And even if they did see it, they might not have known sort of what it meant. But I had it for me as like, I know that I'm Jewish and I know that I don't believe in any of this. I don't know, it might sound silly, but it makes sense to me. And look, if you're incredibly observant and have picked out all my videos and pieced it all together, you probably would have realized that I'm Jewish. You'll notice that on Fridays, I tend to upload earlier if I upload on Fridays. You'll notice that on Saturdays, I tend to upload later if I upload on Saturdays. You'll notice that, for example, Vala, that very first year I did it, the days I skipped were the days of Passover. And there's been a couple of occasions like that where there's been Jewish holidays that have made me skip things. You'll notice in my vlogs, I don't vlog sort of Friday night to Saturday night. Or Saturday day, I suppose. You might have seen some of the books on the shelves. Like, there's definitely hints, and I do try to cover most of them, or I have in the past. But that's kind of another reason I wanted to make this video, because I'm so sick of hiding it. Like, if I'm unpacking suitcases, for example, I always need to like take out the Jewish things first, and then I start filming. For example, actually, perfect example, when I went to Lapland, it was also something called Hanukkah, which is where you have like the candelabra, I suppose, with 8 candles. I don't really know how to explain it. Hannah Witten talks about it a lot, so you can watch her videos. And I'm sure in the future I'll be making more videos about it now that I've said this. And I brought that with me to Lapland so that I could celebrate it. But of course, when I was filming all my packing and unpacking videos, you didn't see it. I don't know, I just think it's dumb that I'm hiding it. But the worst part is, it's not just from YouTube that I hide it, it's from so much. When I started at drama school, I didn't mention it for a few weeks until someone made a joke about Hitler, and then I was like, thanks. And like, if I'm on public transport, I try not to say anything that kind of gives me away, which is terrible. It's horrible. And there's just so many occasions where that's the case. I have a jumper that has Hebrew writing on the back that I don't wear very much because I'm nervous about wearing it. Like, there's just so many things when it shouldn't be that way. So I'm filming this at the end of February, and I know it's not going to go up till probably August, and I am sorry about that, because this is what I was talking about in a video a few weeks back probably, about wishing that I could just kind of upload videos that were more current. But here we are. I hope you're all supportive. I mean, you don't even need to be supportive. You just need to not be rude or mean or anti-Semitic. I mean, that's not a lot I'm asking of you, I hope. And if you have any questions, I really am more than happy to answer anything. You can comment down below. I might open up something on Instagram if I remember. But yeah, I want to stop hiding is basically what this comes down to. And we shouldn't live in a world where I have to hide, but sadly that is the case. And as I mentioned earlier in this video, Hannah Whitten does have quite a few videos up about being Jewish. Now she is, I think, not as religious as me and also doesn't come from as a Jewish family as me. I think she said her father isn't Jewish from what I recall. I am like completely Jewish. All my family, all extended family, everyone's Jewish. So there might be some things she does differently. There might be some things she says that are different, but I am happy to answer any questions. I was in a program, I think in school, I could be mistaken, called Building Bridges, or there was a program called Building Bridges. I don't know, I could be mistaken. But even if that's not true, that's I think what I'd like to do with this video. I like that as a term. I'd like to build bridges between the different religions and just open up a conversation, one that's respectful and kind and open to understanding. And no one needs to change. I'm not expecting anyone to become Jewish because of me, absolutely not. But maybe the world would be a slightly better place if we could all just understand each other a little bit more and have a bit more patience and kindness. So not just feel free to ask questions down below, but also feel free to tell me about your religion down below. Because even with Christianity, I don't know that much. There were a lot of things I was learning for the first time in Lapland, including most of the Christmas songs. And there were a lot of carols where I was like, don't like singing this. But I did it anyway. And it would just be interesting to hear about everyone. Let's build some bridges. Thanks, team.